The Semicolon, Parts 1, 2, and 3 by Zachary Koppelman. Semicolons are used in two basic ways: to connect two closely related sentences and to separate items in a list or series. Connecting two closely related sentences. Here is an example. Cats have fur, they are soft. These are two complete sentences that are related. A semicolon can be used to connect them for greater emphasis. Listen to the difference between cats have fur, they are soft, and cats have fur, they're soft. The semicolon creates a shorter pause, which puts emphasis on the connection between the sentences. In this usage of the semicolon can replace a comma and coordinating conjunction. Cats have fur and they are soft, or baseball is boring so I prefer hockey, or I'm hungry but I hate Brussels sprouts. In all of these cases, the comma and conjunction can be replaced by a semicolon to add emphasis. Semicolon is a tool you can use to help guide your reader. It is rarely required and only should be used sparingly with closely related sentences. You would not write, cats have fur, baseball is boring. Separating items in a list or series. Here are two examples. When we traveled over break, we stayed in a number of places: Cheyenne, Wyoming, Denver, Colorado, Boise, Idaho, and Salt Lake City, Utah. And we traveled across a few states: Indiana, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, and Missouri. Both examples contain lists, but one uses semicolons to separate each element of the list while the other uses commas. Both examples are correct, but the elements within the lists are different. In the first example, each element already has a comma: Cheyenne, Wyoming. To avoid confusion, a semicolon is used to separate the elements. Otherwise, the sentence would look like this. When we traveled over break, we stayed in a number of places: Cheyenne, Wyoming, Denver, Colorado, Boise, Idaho, Salt Lake City, and Utah. Now it looks like Boise and Wyoming are equal places, not a city and a state. This use of the semicolon is the only one that is required, and is only required in lists or series in which an element already has a comma. It is important to note that sometimes you may see a semicolon used to separate elements in a list in which the elements do not already have commas. The elements are much longer phrases or complete sentences. This is done to help the reader better understand the sentence and is technically correct. However, it is very rare and should be avoided. This covers the two basic rules for using semicolons, but the rules are not always enough. At times it is important to see a semicolon used and to hear their effects before being able to expertly use them. Here are a series of examples to demonstrate more sophisticated uses of semicolons. Project Steam Power is over budget and behind schedule. However, the design team has made some impressive discoveries. Versus Project Steam Power is over budget and behind schedule. The design team has made some impressive discoveries. Using a semicolon in this case creates emphasis and direction. It allows you to direct the reader's attention. This can be useful when you need to highlight one bit of information over another. Project leader is not answering the phone. We need to take over. Versus the project leader is not answering the phone. We need to take over. Using a semicolon in this case answers the implied question: what do we do when the project leader does not answer the phone? It makes a closer connection between the reason and the action. Sophisticated use of semicolons can add emphasis, direct the reader, and build specific connections between ideas. While the semicolon can be a useful tool, it is important not to overuse them. Overuse can weaken their effect. If you have any questions, please contact your TA. This has been The Semicolon, Parts 1, 2, and 3 by Zachary Koppelman, in cooperation with the Purdue Online Writing Lab and prepared for the Mechanical Engineering Writing Enhancement Program.